In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to brighten up the eyes. And the same as before, there is few different methods to brighten the eyes in Photoshop, doing your high-end retouch. However, there is some difference between all of these methods. Some time ago, I was just using dodging to brighten up the eyes. However, it's not so precise to do this. If we want to do this really awesome, we're supposed to select the specific area where we want to brighten up our eyes. So I'm going to go a bit closer to the eyes, and I'm just going to create new layer. I'm not going to use this layer, however, wow, too many. However, I'm just creating this new layer to not do any mess, to know in which point we are at the moment. So I just open this here above the sharpen to know that we work in this specific area. And the thing we have to do, we have to select specific area of the eye we want to brighten up. So I'm not just going to brighten up all of this area because it's pointless. We want to brighten up eyes over here, this nice area inside. So we can use different kind of selections tool. For me, the most comfortable tool is just lasso tool. Maybe it's not that precise as just elliptical tool, but then from the elliptical tool we have to cut out some points. So I'm just going to try with lasso tool, and feather radius keep at 1 pixel. Of course, it depends on the size of your image, but 1 pixel is quite universal. We don't want really smooth edges or really sharpened edges, so 1 pixel is quite universal. So let's try to do a selection. As I said before, we're going to select this area over here. So I hope I'm going to do this right. So let's start from this point. I think it could be a bit better. Maybe I went too far over here, but I believe it will be okay. So there's few things we can use right now. We can brighten up our eyes using curves, levels, or exposure. I'm just going to use the curves. So get curve adjustment layer, and what we're going to do, just pull up this curve a little bit to brighten up as much as you want. I think it's enough. We don't have to pull it really high. And of course, this layer number 1, I don't need this anymore. It was just helpful layer to let you know in which point we are actually at this specific moment. So as we brighten up this eye, let's go to the second eye. And now there's no need to create new layer or something like that. The point I have to do, I just have to do a selection on the eye, the same as before. You have to say, my hand is really impressive. So yeah, that could be better actually, but it will be fine. And right now, the one thing we have to do, just select this layer mask, because we're going to work on this layer mask, and just press Ctrl or Command and I as invert to invert the color on this layer mask. So now we can deselect this, and let's have a look how our eyes, it's okay even if the selection wasn't perfect. As you can say, it's impossible to notice because it was a bit bright up here, so it was right selection. So we brighten up our eyes, and the thing is, it's too strong, because as we do high-end retouch, whatever you do, if you do something different, you can brighten up your eyes as much as you want. However, if we're doing some work like this, our eyes have to look natural. It cannot be so strong. So let's try with 60%, and I think with 60% it looks quite alright. Remember, that's a human and not a robot, so the eyes we have to keep our minds on the right place. We cannot go too far with this. So if the edges are too sharpened for you, of course, the thing you can do at the end, you can go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and add just maybe 1.5 blur if you think your edges are too sharp. And of course, it's not necessary, it's just optional if you think like this. So let's have a look now, and I think it looks alright. So now we brighten up our eyes in a very simple method, and probably the best one.